It's going to be great, dude. Oh, y'all, are you ready for tonight? I'm excited. Eric is excited. It's been a great busy day, guys. Let's get into it right now. Welcome to episode 72 of the Drag Driver Pete Show, presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, great show tonight. We're talking about Street Week Sweden. We're talking about Midwest Drags, and John Paul Franks of Heads Up Hustle comes on with route stop updates and two other things that are super, super cool. Then Sean Stanford of Solid Tech Performance is going to tell us about his 2020 Camaro and how it has reset the record for the naturally aspirated small block at Rocky Mountain Race Week. And then to finish the show off, Michael Heston of the Bucketlist Mob is going to talk about all things drag and drive. Y'all, this is going to be a great show. Sit down, grab a drink. Let's have some fun. Mr. Eric, hit that intro video, sir.
All right, let's get going.
We're gonna pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
Guys, thank you for being here. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of the Drag Drive Repeat show, which you're watching now, and the Drag Drive Repeat news, which happens on Saturday mornings. That is a 1 hour limited, hard hitting, all of the drag and drive news in just one place right there. And my man to my left right here, that you guys are watching, Mr. Eric White, my right hand man. Please introduce yourself. Tell them what you got going on, dude.
I am Eric White. I am the co-host of both the news and the show. I do a little bit of everything. I help with photos here. I run my own YouTube channel and social media, which is 815 LSX Swaps. And with going to our local Cars and Coffee, I have fired back up Motorsports Paparazzi to post photos back onto Facebook. So I'm a little bit of everywhere, plus building the Eric White brand.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And had a huge week at work this week. Got your name in the ear of the CEO at your office, dude. That's pretty cool, man. You've had it's been awesome.
Yep, and I want to say that today is my mom's birthday, so we just got done celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday, Mom! 63rd birthday.
That's awesome. Happy birthday to Mrs. White. She's awesome. I've met her one time, and she was the sweetest lady. Outside my mom, I would take her as my mom as well. She seems awesome. All right, well, let's get to it, y'all. You know the deal. We can't do this without you guys. You guys are the reason that we can do this right here, that we can provide content. So thank you for being our race car friends. Guys, hit the share button as you come in here, as you get fired up tonight. Let folks know, because of the new rules within Facebook, we can't share this feed directly to groups. So if you are a member of one of the Drag and Drive groups or a race car group that you feel this could be beneficial to, share it to that group, please. We appreciate that. And then, guys, we can't do this without our sponsors. They truly make all the travel and everything possible. Summit Racing, Driven Racing Oil, Molly Motorsports, Car Change 3D, WAF Racing, who was on last week, got an update on their stuff. Performa Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams. We need to talk to Luke soon, man. I got some cam shaft questions. Sweet Patina, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, without those, we can't do this stuff. We just can't. We can't get to all the events that we go to throughout the year. Well, Summit Racing Speed Legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200-plus catalog editions. Fueling your passion, they save you money, deliver fast, and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. while you're on your phone, you can also find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. They're always posting cool stuff. And then you can listen to the On All Cylinders podcast or watch it, I guess. They have that as well. That's their podcast for automotive discussions. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. You can find everything over there at summitracing.com. Well, listen, this week they have a fun post. It was, if you could choose any classic car for a nostalgic weekend road trip, which would it be and why? Eric, you tell us yours first, because I just hit you with that out of nowhere, bud.
I would have a probably 72-ish Nova. Definitely LS. I think I'd probably do a Pro Charger on that for just a weekend
nice.
road trip car. I think that'd be fun. So kind of
Yeah.
a resto mod. You got to have the AC in it, but stomp that loud pedal when you need to.
That's exactly right. Well, my choice, I think I'm making the move to like a 70-ish Camaro. That split bumper, big grill, of course, turbo LS. I love turbo stuff, love the turbo sound. And I think it's going to be a stick shift because I'm headed somewhere to do big, gnarly burnouts, like big rollers, big turbo 80-ish millimeter, something like that. Let's do some 70-mile-an-hour burnouts.
There you go.
Yeah,
I could
so I
get down
thought
with that.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a fun question. They're always posting stuff like that. So, guys, you got to head over to Summit Racing on Facebook and follow them there or wherever you prefer to get your social media fix. And then I want to give a big shout out to Mike Moore, who posted this. Something similar to this the other day was a all-in-one jack stand combo. I love this idea, and I really think it's good for drag and drive because think about how much better that packages as compared to your, the jack and then a jack stand as well. So a
Right.
lot lighter, I would think, once you combine all of that together. Now, these are $75 each, which I feel like is a pretty good deal considering, like a 3-ton jack is, I mean, what's a 3-ton jack cost? $300 now? Something
Yeah, I
like
have no idea. No idea anymore.
$50. Yeah, I don't know. So this is $75 each. Grab you 2 of them, just slide that dude in and just like that. And that's what Mike Moore says he does to lift his the Fickle Fish S10 up for Dragon Drive events. This made a lot of sense to me. So big shout out to Mike Moore of Veterans Homes. Oh, I hate that I can't remember the Veteran Safe Homes or something like that for his the charity that he works with all the time. So great from him. Appreciate that for sure. And then let's talk about some Driven Racing Oil event updates because I actually see John Paul Franks down below and he is going to be on in about 2 minutes. So let's get this ad read out of the way and then we'll bring him on.
All right. Why gamble with performance or protection when you get proven results from Driven Racing Oil? Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts around the world. Driven takes legendary base oils such as the ones from Bradford, Pennsylvania, which comprise their GP1 line. Then Driven boosts that superior base with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can even shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by using methanol or nitro-based fuels. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following them on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
Yep, that's right. Well, John Paul is on tonight because he's got a couple updates from the Heads Up Hustle event, and then so let's bring him on. Oh, remove that, and we're going to add you, Mr. John Paul Franks. How are you this evening, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Man,
Good.
I'm excited about this. We're down to what, 19 days or something like that. The event is at the 15 days. Is at the end of the month, and I'm ready, man. I've been kind of jonesing a little bit. Haven't had a Dragon Drive in about 2 weeks, and I'm ready. So this one can't come fast enough. Well, that's if you guys don't know, John Paul Franks runs Heads Up Hustle, which is a heads up drag racing Dragon Drive. So it's kind of fun. I'm ready to take the plunge and be the announcer, man. I'm going to be full time on the mic on that one. It's going to be weird.
You're going to do great. We're excited to have you.
Well, I appreciate that for sure. Well, let's talk about a few things, and then we'll bring up one of the best things about that you sent me today. So tell us about the route stop. while I get this other picture pulled up here.
Yeah, so we're really excited. Melling Performance, they build oil pumps, they do camshafts, they do valve springs, they do lifters, all sorts of awesome performance parts. They've come on as a class sponsor for us, and they're actually going to also be a route stop for us as well in Jackson, Michigan. So we're going to stop by their headquarters where they make all their American-made products, and that will be a route stop for us for Heads Up Hustle. It's going to be super awesome to have them on board.
Man, I'm really excited about that because I think that's going to be anytime we can go by, something that is that level of a race car deal, that's awesome. And I mean, dude, they have like pro stock cars and they have all kinds of stuff, but it's going to be pretty awesome to be in the midst of all that.
Yeah, we're super excited, and that's just one of the route stops we've got. We've got some other really cool route stops planned. I'm not sure how many I want to talk about tonight. I'm actually going to be out driving the route tomorrow. So I'm going to be getting up at like 5 o'clock this morning or tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be out driving for 12 plus hours tomorrow, checking stuff out. So
That's awesome, dude. That is great news. Well, there's also something else you and I were talking about that is similar to one of the other events, and so why don't you tell us about what that's going to be too?
I'm sorry, I missed what you said there. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I was going to say, tell us what the other thing that you, the other driving part of the event that that we were talking about today.
Oh, the logo, the new sticker for the car.
Oh no, we're going to talk about that next. I'm talking about the car that you're going to have in the trailer that people will be able to borrow to run parts.
Oh yes, I apologize. I completely missed what you're talking about. Yes, so we have my wife's old car actually. It's a Chevy Volt, 2013 Chevy Volt. So it is electric. So Doug Cook might get upset at us here, but actually it's a hybrid. So it's just
it's a hybrid.
It's an old car. You can put gas in and it'll run just fine. But it'll be available for all the racers that need transportation. So that if they have a parts run, if they hopefully don't have to go back to Milan and get a trailer, we just have a car, extra wheels that racers will be able to use to get around if things go sideways. So it just gives them flexibility and peace of mind to know, hey, they can call me up and be like, hey, we're stranded at such and such place. Can we get some wheels? And we will have wheels available. So
that's super cool.
Yeah, I think that's a huge win for the racers because then that takes just that one extra step off their back, one extra thing to worry about off their list. So that's a plus. Now let's talk about this thing because I'm a fan, dude. This looks awesome. This is going to be like the window decal for the event, which I love this, man. It looks awesome.
Yeah, we're super excited. I'm really happy with how the design turned out. A local promoter to me who puts on some streetcar racing, it's called Whole Shot Media, Blake Mushin. He's going to do all of our T-shirts, and he worked with one of his designers to get this design as well as our T-shirts. And I really like it. I especially like the old-fashioned like stoplight pole that says "drag and drive" on the two street signs. I really like that touch.
Yeah, that's huge, and I really like just the whole atmosphere. And I think this looks great. And you know my theory on regional events. I think they're the way to bring folks in. So I feel like regional events are, a bigger decal are great for those because then you can stick those on the window. And a lot of times those racers are going to leave those on, as a badge of honor, just like they do the windshield banners at like a national level event does. So this is really, really cool, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. And maybe we can start stacking them like you guys do at the circuit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sure there's going to be folks that'll have the 2023 decal on and the 2024 decal and hopefully 2025 decal.
Well, the 2023 decal from last year was one of the things we knew we had to improve on. It was a very last minute thing. We literally got them the night before the event, and most people probably will have taken them off by now because they didn't look so great. But we had to upgrade that for this year.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think you made a swing in the right direction. Well, congratulations to you, sir. Thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it, and good luck on your drive tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be posting a few things along the way as we go scout it out.
That's awesome. Well,
Very
guys,
cool.
if you haven't yet, please go follow Heads Up Hustle. That's John Paul's deal. It's gonna be awesome. And again, you'll get to hear your boy announcing for the first time. I'm anxious about it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, you've got a lot of experience in the mic. You'll be great. We're super excited to have you.
Yep. Thanks again, man. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Thank you guys. Take care.
And bye. Awesome, man. I really am excited about that event. I think it's going to be a ton of fun and an absolute blast to be able to stand up and talk about that event as we go through all the weekend there. Again, July 26th through 28th is the event weekend for that, and I'll be in Detroit area. So if you're up that way, it is Milan Dragway and then Mid Michigan and then back to Milan. So July 26th through 28th. I don't feel like it should already be July, but it is.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about Midwest Drags is on right now happening. Jesse Fox 3G Video. I want to give a huge shout out to him. Please go follow him. He's I think one of the only photographers or media content that's out there that I've seen anyways. And that may just be because we're good friends and I see all of his stuff, but 3G Video is the way to go, is the way to follow along. He does daily videos and has been posting a few pictures, but as I smack him on the hand a lot, we need more pictures. We need more pictures, bud. All the time. I'm always telling him. So maybe if folks will tell him, that would also help. There's several classes. I think they've got like 9 classes or 10 classes or something like that. But there are 3 that are very tight. But a couple notes I want to talk about is
Can we go back to that picture real quick?
Yep.
I am digging these trailer umbrellas.
Yes, that's the whole reason I brought that picture up. I didn't even talk about it.
Yeah.
It's genius, man. Genius.
Yeah. How cool is that? You need a place to hide and get some shade. Boom.
Yeah, I love this, especially for tech. Like as you're moving through tech, this is genius because it's gonna be hot. We're talking about July in Kentucky. The trailer umbrella is perfect, especially these big ones. Like there's several that Jesse posted about. It makes so much sense, man. And you probably already have them on your back deck anyway. You just steal that thing, weld a tube to the side of the trailer, slide that dude in.
Right.
Yeah. So really cool idea. I do want to give a big shout out to James Reeves. I didn't know he owned a Viper. This seems super cool. He's racing it this year. You would typically know him from this little Dodge Omni right here. So he chooses to race this car instead of the Viper. To tell you what kind of abuse he endures. But big shout out to him for being there this year in the Viper. Said that he just couldn't get the Omni done in time. He was looking for I think he's looking for low 10s, maybe even some 9s in the Omni. So that car's pretty quick.
Wow.
We've talked to him in the past, attending some of the other Midwest Drags events. And then obviously we heard about Mike Finnegan being there. This picture I pulled from Motor Trend. I want to put that out there saying that they did that. But Mike's out there. He's making rips, dude, in Blasphemy. He's made it 2 days. We're going to talk about some of that here in just a minute as well. But I'm excited to see him out at a drag and drive event. So I'm hoping he's using Midwest Drags as kind of like a test, yeah, for Drag Week. So I think that'll be really cool. And then
that'll be cool for sure.
Yeah, and then Ryan Hargett is a route stop of today. So he had the Camaro, the Antidote is what he calls it, out there. So 70 Camaro Pro Stock car, used to be a huge block with nitrous, a huge big block with nitrous, and then now it's got the twin turbo Coyote setup from his 7-second Mustang at almost 200 miles an hour. So this car should go deep into the 6s pretty easily.
But
yeah, you heard it.
Yeah,
tell it.
But he made a post that he's got to bring the blue car back out for drag week.
Yeah, he just can't quite get this car done in time. I mean, this car is a full build. Like he's from what was in the 90s. Uh-oh. Am I back? Can you hear me?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to keep talking.
I can hear you. But
okay, good.
There you go.
All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. We're struggling with the internet here again. It's frustrating. Anyways. Yeah. So twin turbo has to be fully rewired. This car is way lighter. And with that power plant, with the new turbos, this car should go deep into the 6s. So it's going to be awesome to see that. And then the
other route stop for today is another drag and drive racer at was a Fat House Performance.
Mm-hmm.
For Jeremy Howell.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see everybody swing through there. I know that Midwest Tracks got a later start today because of some rain and track cleanup, and so that makes for late nights when those dudes are going by there. But Ryan did send me these photos from earlier today with people already there. I mean, this came in at like 5 o'clock or something like that, 5:30. So those guys made their passes and got out of there pretty quick. So congratulations to everybody that's on the road today for making their way around.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Let me get back here. Almost there, I promise. And then we're going to talk about Street Week Sweden, which you guys saw the picture of there. They are racing also this week. They started on the 6th and they'll end on the 13th. So they're about halfway through. And so I just grabbed a quick picture from them.
That's a cool photo.
Oh, this shot is great. And their post is this is from day 2. So this is from yesterday. And I had to use Google Translate because they obviously type in Swedish over there. Now I don't know what that ever means. I don't speak Swedish, right? So it says the fact that there's a car culture in Dalarna has been around for a long time. So I'm thinking like car culture in Dalarna for a long time. These racers are showing incredible dedication and commitment to Street Week and drag and drive events. Even though the facility is large, it was crowded, which is huge. That's awesome for the racers and the team. It means that the event is really taking hold there. And said some of the audience sat down 3 hours before they started the event. So that's pretty cool. And then it says, what a show the boys and girls put on. It says now they have, driven 30 miles to the track. That's got to be some kind of, I mean, it's got to be more than that. They drive like it's the last day. 14 4-second runs on day 2. Like everything's 8th mile there. Yeah. 14 of them. That's crazy fast. Lots of 5 and 6 second passes. It says these were winning times just a few years ago. It wasn't until like, I think the last 2 years till they really had some 4-second stuff. It says 2 days, 33 4-second runs.
Holy cow.
Like submitted 4-second runs. That is absolutely intense. And then see, they're going to Sundsvall tomorrow. Another incredible facility. So it says looks like the weather's going to be superb and they can't wait. So there are 3 classes with some really tight racing. They've got 10 or 12 classes as well. So their Max Outlaw has Kim Akerblom. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah, 454 average. That's pretty quick. That's second fastest in anything 8th mile in drag and drive this year, I think. And then that is first place. Second place is a 458 by Jan Udels. So that's pretty awesome. That's fast, very, very fast over there because you can see like these guys typically race on like worked over airports. They're not full on, drag and drive events for every track now or for every race day, but now some are actual race tracks. But the Street Outlaw class has Henrik Nygren's 491 over Henrik Ludvig's, yeah, whatever, over his 499. So about 800s there separate them on their average. But the hot rod class, super tight. You got Daniel Anderson's 658 over Nicholas Wikander's 661 with a 6.113 average, 6.6113 average. Third place, Martin Lundquist. He's in third with a 6.6117.
Man,
what's
those
that?
Are close.
4/10,000ths or something like that separates those two guys. So I'm sure that's going to be pretty intense as they move through the rest of the week. They still have 2 days of racing. I think that may have included today. I don't have my sheet up anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty tight there. That's pretty freaking tight. So I grabbed a couple of pictures here. Dude, how often do you see a CLS 550?
Right.
Like
and a wagon.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Or is that an SUV, a wagon? I'm not sure what you call it.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a wagon.
Josh Castle here from announcing at Midwest Drags. What's up, Josh?
Yeah, Josh, how's it going, man? Tell us. We need to get some stories from him for this weekend. So, Josh, I'll text you later tonight to get some stories. And then, obviously, late model Mustang over there, but this looks like it's got a big old screw blower on it. Looks like it's
Hmm.
kind of fun. And then this car I thought was just, mm, this
Oh
is
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful hot rod there. So super cool
yeah, I
car.
like that.
Yeah, that are over there. So you look at this, and then you go back to this same event. It's just wild to me the depth of cars that are there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's pretty cool to see some different vehicles like that.
yep. Yeah, that is one event we've got to make, dude. We've got to make it over there and visit with those guys. So I don't know how we do that, but we got to figure that out at some point. All right. And then Cruise and Lose Streetcar Showdown, they are adding an event to the season. So I'm going to put this on the list of events tonight. I didn't want to release this out until today. This is going to be kind of cool. It's October 5th. It's a single day event at Kearney Raceway Park. So Kearney, Nebraska. Again, 2 route stops, 2 to 3 hours worth of driving, 2 passes. I think that's pretty cool, right? Got to have the first pass turned in by 6 p.m., which I thought was a really neat way to kind of get people jumping, get people going, right? They're going to have 4 classes. They got unlimited. They've got 650 index, 750 index, and 850 index. Again, going to be based on your average of 2 passes, and then $100 entry. So it's inexpensive for a drag
Yep.
and drop, kind of fun. And then you can actually pick up sponsorships for as low as $200. So it's kind of cool. And I know a lot of that they're giving back to the racers and all that. So pretty interesting. I'm excited to see a single day event really do well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know those guys, 2 to 3 hours worth of driving is got to be 150 miles worth of cruising.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's
that's
wild.
what drag and drive's about, dude, is getting out and about and being, you know,
In
being
your
out there
car.
in your hot rod. Yeah. Yeah. Not trailering it to the track and making passes and trailering it home.
Right. Yeah, even if it's just a one day, I mean, it's still more people in seats on the highway or back roads or on the streets in general.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. And next up is WAF Racing. I want to give them a huge shout out, and I want to give all of the people that follow us that used the discount code while it was available for their new tool. You can kind of see it in the back there in behind the picture there. Y'all, huge success. It's awesome. They sold a bunch of kits of this. It was it's like a new carburetor tool kit that is much more compact and easily usable in your toolbox or tool trailer for the drag and drive. This is awesome. I'm excited
Yeah.
they had such success with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then let's move to Molly, and I'm gonna let you take over for a few minutes while I message Sean and see if he's getting ready to be on the show real quick.
You got it. Attention high performance enthusiasts and racers, meet the Mali Motorsports Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are made from either 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder to wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or the 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. Tailored for various engine families from small block Chevy to Volkswagen and Audi, Mali has you covered. What sets them apart? It's forged pistons, Grafal coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Mali Motorsports, where performance meets precision. Unleash the power within. Visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for all our podcast listeners, Mali is spelled Mahle.
That's right. Well, we want to feature Molly Motorsports co-pilot segment this week is our good friend Kyle Hood in the El Camino that you guys will remember from the circuit. You'll remember the Turbo LS setup here. Drove the car from the St. Louis area all the way over to the circuit with his friend Casey Matthews, who's there in the middle in the twin turbo Mustang. Super fun. He's telling stories about his dad, who is his co-pilot this year. And so one of the things we ask is tell us a story about how your co-pilot saved the day. He said we really had such great luck this year on the trip that he didn't really have to save the day, in quotes. He said one thing that came to mind was him literally welding floor pans in after the car was packed and ready to go. I figured we were just out of time and would avoid putting our feet there in the floor pan. Okay. Like, dude, what the heck?
Nice.
You got to use those, right? He said, but I come out of the house freshly showered and ready to leave. Fellow competitors, Casey and Clayton, also there ready to go. And my dad is tacking patch panels in. Sparks were flying under the dash. I thought for sure that was going to cause problems. But in true Jeff Hood fashion, he just said, don't watch. He was a massive help in putting the whole car together in the small amount of time we left ourselves. So that's awesome, man. That's so fun. And then one of our questions on the Molly Motorsports co-pilot spotlight is tell us a funny story about your co-pilot. He said one that comes to mind is the first time he drove the El Camino with a turbo setup. He was so nervous, having only experienced carbureted boomer stuff before. Said he makes a 12-0 pass and rolls back around to the pits completely amped, talking about he's never felt anything pull like that and how he gapped the Chevelle next to him. He said, I knew something was wrong, though, because I had heard the car shift into fourth gear. I pulled the data log. He was at a smooth 70% throttle all the way down, but swears he was flooring it. He's finally starting to come around to the technology. Can't figure out how to add pictures, or I would. Yeah, so I went ahead and grabbed these from, so I didn't mean to put that last bit in there, but I grabbed some pictures from his Facebook page of the circuit event for him. I had a blast hanging out with those guys. They were a lot of fun. Both of them always smiling and laughing and joking. So it was a great time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, to spend with them. Well, I don't know where Sean is, but we're going to roll on without him. And then if he hops in, we can take care of that. Now he is a couple of hours behind us, so I hope I didn't get my times mixed up, which I've done that in the past. Not me ever. No, not ever. So, Sean Stanford now currently holds the Rocky Mountain Race Week naturally aspirated small block record with his 2020 Camaro. We actually got a chance to catch up at Rocky Mountain Race Week. We were in Ennis, I think, and at that point he held it, but obviously you got to finish the week. This is a 2020 Camaro. Essentially his shop, Solid Tech Performance, I think in New Mexico or Arizona, put this car together as basically a shop car. And he said it's the hardest thing he's done not to just continue to upgrade. This car currently reset the record set by Matt Coding in his small block 69 Camaro. So Camaros have owned it for a while is what I'm saying. Matt's time was 10:254 to hold the record for NA small block. It is now set at a 961 with a 6 average across the week of Rocky Mountain Race Week in some of the most intense heat that we've seen.
Yeah, that's quite a jump too.
Yeah, I mean, more than a half second better than what Matt's was, and in a late model car that is, I'm telling you, it's really nice. It's a really, really nice car. Solid Tech Performance. The more I look at their stuff, the more it just baffles me how nice of a car they build. And he says, I really want to put I want to put a big turbo on it. He's like, but I want it to stay easy. He's like, this was a pretty simple build. He's like, we really had to think out the whole process to put it together, to do, what powertrain, what, camshaft and converter and transmission and all that stuff they wanted to go with to make sure everything was right. And I was hoping he's going to be on so he could tell us a little bit about that process, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
What color is that?
Green.
Because the picture before I thought it was black, and then you flip to this one, and I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's a dark green. It looks awesome. Like this is a great pick here. He was riding along all week with another shop car or a car that was built in the shop, I think. And it's this Fox Body 4i over here. Super cool dudes. Always having a great time when I passed, and has a carbon R intake on it, like what's his name, Nick Schaff has. I mean, it really is a super cool setup in this car, and lightweight. It's not gutted. It has basically a full interior, just lightweight stuff. It has a cage in it, obviously. to get there. But I mean, dude, to be running 9.6s in A and be able to cruise around and do that it sounded great, runs great, does all the stuff like it should.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool car. And that's obviously our Molly Motorsports segment there that we'll talk about those guys. So if he pops on, we may bring him on if he can jump on before we open up the floor to the bucket list mob who's backstage. Guys, we see you back there. We've got about another 15 minutes worth of stuff to cover, and then we'll bring you on. All right. Well, let's do the gentleman's agreement, because guys, you know how this goes. We love doing this. We do. I truly love it. I live, eat, breathe, sleep this stuff. But it's not free, and it's real time consuming. Okay. So
Yes.
the gentleman's agreement is I'm going to keep doing this. Eric's going to keep working hard like he does for you guys. But we need you to do one thing. First, we need you to hit that follow button or the subscribe button. Wherever you're watching this, please do that for us. That means a lot to us, and it helps us grow. It helps show the algorithms that we're out here trying and doing this. So if you'll do that, we'll keep doing this, and it'll be great. And again, to all the folks that have done that, you're our race car friends. We can't do this without you. Want to say thank you so much for being that for us and taking care of us, and the comments and posts and shares and all that kind of stuff that happen at midnight, 1, 2 a.m. Really, really help keep us going. So thank you for being our race car friends. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmissions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV, which big shout out to Power Tube, because I recorded the episode 3 of the Southeast Gassers Association. I'm technically the host over there. It's still weird to say, still weird to do, be in my shop out here in my podcast room with just looking at the camera and not having anybody talk back to me. I think what I need to do is maybe have Eric on the side, and I'll be like talking to him. That may be the best way to do this.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Do you want
to? Maybe I'll just make a random appearance on it.
That'd be perfect. Well, if you'll read the Power Tube ad read, we'll get to the next bit.
All right. Power Tube TV is your ultimate destination for automotive entertainment. Enjoy an unparalleled streaming experience on the 100% free web-based site, Roku, or mobile apps. You can also watch on Android, Fire, and Apple TVs. We are excited to partner with PowerTube TV, created by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find replays of our show and exclusive content from us and other automotive creators. Watch classic shows like Pink's All Out, and Pastime, along with new and original content. PowerTube TV is more than a streaming platform, it's a community. Through their content creator development program, it serves as a launchpad for emerging builders and racers. Join us on PowerTube TV and experience the thrill of automotive entertainment like never before. Speed, power, and community await you. Find out more at watchpowertubetv.com.
I know that's right. And again, appreciate them for the opportunities they've provided for us, and more stuff is coming down the pipeline. So make sure that you're signed up over there and have that stuff loaded up. Well, the Howard's Cam community segment, this is one of my favorite spots, and it's really it's grown. Really, we've taken this from just one comedy segment that they were in during the news last year, and they upgraded to a segment during the show, and we've actually turned this into this is when we bring guests on and all of that. So if you want to, let's play that video, and we'll get to a few things and then bring on the bucket list mob.
All right, sounds good.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend Luke B for your next valve train upgrade.
All right. I'm messaging him now saying that we're going to need to bring these guys on because I'm excited about this part here because we obviously have a few things we want to talk about with Mike Finnegan. Again, use this photo from Motor Trend. Just want to put that out there so there's no question. I did not take that photo. I wish I had because it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
He's at Midwest Drags like we talked about earlier. This car is working, man. It's working. 9,648 on day one, 9,648 and a 9,907. Again, at Midwest Drags, you have to turn in 2 slips per day. I really like that setup. And then on day 2, ran an 8, an 892 with an 8, and then a 939 with a 2 on day 2 to be, listen to this, in 4th place in manual shift H pattern.
Wow.
Dude, that's
That's
crazy to me.
Yeah, the stick shift class over the last couple years has got super competitive.
Yeah. Yep. I'm refreshing the page now to see where we're at for manual H. Yeah. Adam Buntley currently leads the manual H pattern with a 913 or 913 average right now. Does he have any?
Nice.
Yeah, he's got an 898 and a 9104 for today. So yeah, putting it down, that's for sure. Yeah. Adam Buntley in first place, Kyle Buntley in the second. I mean, it's pretty salty. And then CJ Roberts, we love the Kentucky kid. 83 Mustang with a 9.4. And then Mike Finnegan, actually, his average is a 9.469. So he's only he's in 5th place. My apologies, 5th place. So somebody went ahead of him today. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I mean, it's cool to see him out there for sure, though.
Yep. And then obviously we talked about Hargett Performance earlier, but another big shout out to them. We love Ryan and Tammy and the whole team over there. Brent Sinclair's a big part of that program as well. And the whole team, this is the shop picks of their route stop being on this today. And I think as a community part, being a route stop is awesome. Let's see, Greg Black.
Yep.
Let's see where he's at. Got Jeff Kirchick asking where Greg Black is. Let's see here. Ooh, he is in 6th place, right behind Finnegan with a 961 average.
There you go.
And again, you can find that at MidwestDrags.com. They have a real-time results over there. So that's kind of cool. And then again, sorry, back to Hargett Performance. If you are a shop and you think you may be on the route of one of these drag and drive events, reach out because I'm telling you, hosting my own, I know how hard it is to find route stops. And, I drove it and found some, but at the same time, if people were like, hey, come by here, we'd love for you to stop by. We're going to be close to the route. We would love for you to do that. Tell us where you're going to be. And then how excited about this are you?
I saw this and this was pretty cool. I'm glad
Yeah.
to see that he's jumping back into it. I mean, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, we were both, I think we started at 555, if I remember right, and we were doing a race to 1,000. So I'm glad to see that Casey is back. And I saw he had a post that he had a big spike. I think it was it a jet ski or some video that he said he'd posted, and it was a will it start video, and it just went wild. And I guess that kind of got him the motivation he needed to kind of get back into recording again.
Yeah, I'm really excited about him doing this. Casey's a great guy. We got to hang out at Drag Week last year for several hours, or year before last, several hours. It was a lot of fun to spend with him. And dude, it's become that's really the only way we get to spend time with friends much anymore is through their YouTube and Facebook and Instagram stuff. So you kind of feel like you're there with them, and that's always really cool. So I'm glad that Casey at Patina Pit Stop is firing the channel back up. He obviously never took it down or anything, but if you want a fun channel to catch up on, this is a great one. So welcome back to him. I'm excited for him to be there.
Yeah.
And the Kirchicks, another family that I love. I love these guys. They bring an entire crew with them every time they come. They have signed up for Heads Up Hustle today, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, they're bringing 3 cars. Jeff messaged me that the sister is signed up, and Nick messaged me that he signed up, but now he's got to rebuild the motor that's going to be in his Fairmont, who his buddy is sitting on the hood there. He's got to get it fired up because now he has a goal. They took it to 6 summer, but it wasn't right. They obviously hurt something in a Craigslist find or Facebook Marketplace find engine and had thrown it in there, thrashed to get it in. And you know how it goes. Anytime you thrash, something's going to happen. And that's what happened. So they both thrashed to get there. Now Nick is going to be back with a new motor set up in the car, and he's got 3 weeks. So these guys like to really crack the whip. Or, dude, 2.5 weeks. Holy crap! I just realized 26. That's 16 days from right now.
Yeah, that's coming up super quick.
Yeah. So if anybody can do it, it's these guys. They have no quit in them, and some people can just work faster than others. My brother is one of those people. I can't work that fast. I guess like I don't have the amount of experience to be there yet. But those guys are coming, and they're bringing 2, if not 3 cars. So it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And then the Race Car Friends group, the Drag Drive Repeat Race Car Friends Facebook group, y'all, we're over 1,300. We've had a huge spike. Oh,
Jeff just said they're trying to find a converter for Ellie's Dart also.
Yep. I think it's got a 904 Mopar transmission. If anybody has one laying around, they need it for sure. So that's exciting to have them be there and hang out. And I know, again, those guys are going to be a blast. And a great place to post about all that kind of stuff is the Drag Drive Repeat Race Car Friends Facebook group. Again, 1,328 members, started from absolutely zero. Didn't have a group before or anything. So we appreciate the growth that has seen in the last few months. And it's funny about Facebook groups. It's like, it's hard to get started, but once it begins to roll, it kind of just takes on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing now. We're having a lot of people post, they're not just replying to posts that we're making, they're creating their own posts, asking about stuff, asking questions about Drag and Drive. And that's where I would almost say a lot of experts are going to help answer those questions. You have a lot of members that are in there helping people move in the right direction. So if you haven't yet, please join that group. We'd love to get that up there a little bit as well. All right. Well, let's talk about bringing on the Bucketlist mob. And I initially had thought it was going to be just Mike, but you know how these guys do. They're a mob, man. They're a whole group of people. So let's bring them on, and we're going to talk about all of the fun stuff that they did at Sick Week, at all the other events that they have
on that TV.
Okay. Guys, how are y'all this evening?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Eric.
How's it going?
It's
Good.
going.
How you guys doing?
Hey, there's
it's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Orange ain't my color.
There's no axle in the gasser. What the heck are y'all doing taking stuff apart now?
I'll blame my oldest daughter. She eggs me on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some stuff, guys. Introduce yourselves. Tell us who all you are. Kind of go around the room there and tell us what you got going on.
All right. You, Matt. This is Matt Lewis.
Oh.
I'm Mike Heston. This is Mike Wiles, and this is Jack Rachel. Not here today is Patrick and my dad. They had other stuff to take care of, so they couldn't come today. But that's our group. That's how we get stuff done.
And you guys get a ton of stuff done. You actually have a YouTube channel called the Bucketlist Mob. I love watching the videos that you guys put out over there. You're up to like 47 or 8 videos or something like that on episodes, which is, I feel like probably one of the best ways to document the awesomeness of lives that we do. You know what I mean? Like you guys are always working on stuff.
Yeah, well, it kind of started. I mean, it originally kind of was like, we're just doing this for fun, and and it still is what it is. But we're like, okay. I kind of had a moment. Was like, I don't remember what my grandma's voice sounds like. So we're living in an age where you can be, I don't want to say immortalized, but my grandkids can go back and see what an idiot I am when I was their age. So I don't remember what my grandpa's voice sounds like. So I thought, let's just goof around. Let's document some of this stuff. But we really didn't get serious about it. It was just doing it for fun for about 6 months. And then after Sick Week is when the bug kind of like, let's just go ahead and put a little work to this and see what happens, if something happens and it can help pay for our addictions, then it does that. If it doesn't, again, our grandkids and great grandkids will see what idiots we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things. That's what I tell people all the time is just do that stuff so you can document it. So you can have that, because I say it, Eric knows, he's heard this. There's going to be a point where I'm not going to remember all the cool stuff I did. So I can be like, hey, look what Papa did. That's it. And that's one of the best reasons ever.
Yeah. One of the problems is it also documents some of the stuff you'd like to forget. Right.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I love when stuff breaks. I love when things are hard and you got to figure that stuff out. And hey, that's life, man. Sometimes you fail, and that's okay.
Well, come on down.
You love when stuff breaks?
Come on down.
Really?
We got plenty of that.
Yeah,
You would love it here.
yeah,
You'd be in heaven.
right. Well, run us through the group. Like, how did you guys meet? You know, who does what within the? People have specialties. What's y'all's?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine. I'm the look of the group.
He's also the comedian.
But
apparently.
anyway, so it started like I want to say it was the mindset started a while back. I had a heart ablation, and I was in the hospital with all these cardiac folks, and I was 48 or
So that
whatever,
was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I was working 60 hours a week, and not every year I'm like, oh, I want to do that, and I'd go, oh, I'll do that next year. 50's creeping up, and I've got all these things that I'll do that next year. I'll do that next year. And, I had a moment at Clarity at the hospital that I've worked at a place for 26 years. They afforded me a lot of opportunities, but man, I was traveling 40% of the time. And I was like, my girls were growing up. I felt like I was missing them, and I said, I got to make some serious life changes. So you can call it a midlife crisis. I don't think that's really what it is. If you want to,
Put a label on it.
Yeah, put a label on it. But it is an aha moment for, we've only got so much time on this planet. Let's start experiencing some stuff. So I think I was probably still in the hospital when I was like, hey guys, I've always wanted to go to SEMA. Let's go to SEMA. I'm texting the guys.
And off we went.
And off we went,
It literally started as a Facebook Messenger text group that we just jokingly labeled the Bucketlist Mob.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
I think SEMA was the first trip, and I can't remember what the next one was after that.
Then it was like,
Drag
yeah, well, like 6 years previous, I used to race motorcycles. You have kids. I got rid of the motorcycle. It's not smart to do that anymore. Got rid of the street bike. And then I was like, the girls are getting older. I'm like, I want something cool again. Maybe I can race a car. At least there's a cage around you. So that's when I bought that Fairlane. But the Fairlane sat for like 5 years in the garage and in the driveway as I gathered up parts, and after SEMA was like, guys, you want to go to Drag Week? Because I want to do Drag Week. And everybody's like, hell yeah, let's go to Drag Week. Yep. So we thrashed. I mean, literally, we got a whiteboard where we marked stuff off, and it was like, leave Saturday at 8 a.m. Scratch it out. Leave Saturday at 9 a.m. Scratch it out. I mean, we got this. Leave Saturday at 12. Okay, we're good. I mean, it was last minute on everything, and
5 hours worth of departure times checked off, and then nailed it.
Nailed it.
Exclamation marks.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So we went and did Drag Week, and it was really cool because Michael Leamy he interviewed us. The car is different. You don't see the redheaded stepchild of Fairlanes very often, and that's what I call the 65 Fairlane. They're kind of 1 year obscurity or whatever.
Kind of leads to the name.
Yeah, and that's where the name came from. Patrick's great at naming cars. He named both cars. And so, Patrick's like, it's yellow and it is ugly. It's the ugly duckling. I'm like, that's perfect.
Yes.
Patrick has a knack for there's Patrick all the way in the left.
Yeah. And that was the first time at Drag Week in 2019 when we actually saw other cars.
Yeah.
So
was day 3?
Yeah.
Or day
Yeah.
4?
So we saw no other cars the whole time
God.
because we were so late. So it was like, the car was like untested, and we fought it until we got to our first stop at Drag Week 2019. at 4 a.m.
First
First checkpoint
on day one.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
we got to our second one at 7:30 a.m. That one right there.
Which
That one right
means-
there. And we got to our hotel at 9. And
That's where I was going with
and
that.
our hotel was, they gave away our hotel room, and we'd fought just stuff coming loose, like lost the plug out of the back of the rear end. What the heck, right?
How do you do that? You know what I
And
mean?
then in just a note in my brilliance, little kid, Hot Wheels. Man, 8-stack injection looks so cool. All right, well, let's go run the gasser class. Well, you can't have EFI. Well, we'll just run mechanical injection. That sounds like a good idea. Have you ever done it before? Nope. So
I wish I had added the. I wish I had added the part here with the stack injection, because it looks awesome. So I will say it was worth the struggle you guys had.
Awesome. Well, that's kind of what it was, right? So, I mean, people loved it at Drag Week. Mike Galimi, he interviewed us of 300 cars. We were one of 4 at the tech check-in. And everybody just loved the car. We didn't love it so much that week because of all the problems we had, but we were pretty happy by the end of the week. I mean, we literally just survived, and we struggled with a filter. We found out we had on the injection, a paper filter you can't run, and it was on a tree. And then we did fine on the road. I mean, the manners on the road were great. We got 6.5 miles a gallon with 4 guys in the car towing 1,200-pound trailer.
Right.
It was great, but the road, I mean, it wouldn't fall out of a tree. And then just like part of that thing with the drag and drive guys is, and you don't experience it till you experience it, is when you have a problem, somebody's there, right? That ran out of gear lube. Guy stopped there.
Yep.
Gave us all of his gear lube. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Guy saw us having problems, said, "Hey, why don't you check this filter?" He's like, "Check the filter." He said, "It'll look clear. Do a water test on it." I was like, "What is a water test?" And that's right. It looks clear, like it's clear, but it's not. Took it out and it was paper. So we overnighted a mesh filter, and we picked up 4 seconds in the quart. So it would run low 13s on 7 cylinders on that last pass, 1320 or something.
Right.
But we finished, and when we finished, we were and we did beat out another B-gasser. Right. But I mean, we really won 3rd place by just finishing,
just surviving.
Yeah, just
surviving. Yeah. Just because other guys had catastrophic failures, and unfortunately, we just fought minor issues, I guess, is the way to describe it. The entire week, and somehow managed to survive.
And they said, "Oh, he won 3rd place at the last track in Virginia," and it's like, "What? What?" Well, we weren't even paying attention. We were doing so horribly, And then it's like, that means you don't even have to wait in line. You can get an entry, automatic entry into next year's event. I'm not asking these guys because they are not in the mood to hear it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was an adventure for sure. And it was, talk about Cinderella. To be able to talk to Mike and be on Hot Rods, tech inspection gallery. And that's 12-year-old me was just up, just crazy happy, and then the next year, they announced the tracks and they used the Fairlane launching. It looks cool. It would come out hard and then just fall on its face. So it's kind of paper slipping one tire, and they use the car for the announcement for the next year's tracks. And then, this is when I told the guys, we had a lot of struggles with 2 different engine builders. One took all my money and closed his doors, and he's got a $400,000 settlement against him and stuff. And I just got to let that go. Right. And well, thanks to Freiberger, Freiberger, devastated. He's devastatingly slow. I'm like, oh, and I even have a plaque from the guys at work that says devastatingly slow, 3rd place, Mike Heston.
This guy is the Dragon Drive event pro. He probably can go back and pull the footage.
No, don't do that.
Of Freiberger's announcement.
Yes,
when
don't do that.
He said something about 331 cubic inch. Do you mean CC?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was
bad.
So I'm like, all right, we're going to show them, right? So I was going to build a hot small block got screwed out of that. And we had that illness that came around for everybody that canceled drag week. Next year I got it, so we didn't go. So 2023, another engine builder screwed me. We put together another engine. This time we went to Big Block and put an engine together. He's supposed to dyno it. I don't care so much about peak numbers. I got to make sure it's going to be drivable. We couldn't even get the thing to run, and we had to bow out 2 days before drag week in 2022.
Right.
So we got our stuff together, took the engine to another guy. He changed the fuel system all around. It dynoed at 910 horse NA on E85. And then again, and and then, at the track, it's just, we realize it's blowing through the converter. So Bubba at 501 is making us a converter right now to straighten that out. Oh, that was the other part that the guys are really super thrilled about. It's got an AOD in it.
Yeah.
It's got an AOD in it with still has the lockup. It still has the lockup in it. It's like the guy that built it for us, Silver Fox. He put a lot of unobtainium in it, parts that you can't get anymore. He said, if you ask me to build this transmission again, I can't do it. They just don't make the parts anymore. So if this one gives up the ghost, probably go to like a Turbo 400 or something. The guys will be happy about that.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to C4.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, let's break that. But I had stuff, I gathered parts for 5 years on it. And so everything I wanted it to be kind of like more period, right? I mean, the aluminum heads aren't period, but when you go inside of it, all the switches are from like World War II bombers and stuff. Everything is old. And it looks right,
like
nothing,
an AOD.
Except for the AOD.
Like an AOD.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was kind of the thing. And it was cool to have people notice it, but it made it harder for everybody. I mean, we hid the radiators and the fenders. Didn't have any overheating problems at all.
With the small block.
And so it looks cool. You're looking at it, you're like, I don't see a water pump. I don't see radiators.
I don't see an alternator.
There's no alternator on it. What's going on here? Well, the alternator's on the rear end. We're over that.
Which is a great idea for all you drag and drive guys out there. Put an alternator on the rear end. It works great in traffic jams. No dead batteries,
you only have to pull off the road and run your
generator. Up the generator to recharge your batteries in a traffic jam. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to ask it, because I saw that on the whatever video you guys were on, the last video you put out was the alternator up there, and I was like, that's probably great when you're driving, but we do so much stop and go traffic? That's gonna kill the battery. But I didn't know.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was worse with the big block in it because we had to run the fans all the time. But I mean, with the small block, we didn't run into a whole lot of problems. Well, I'll take that back. We ended up taking the batteries into the hotel and charging batteries every night. We had to stop at Walmart at like 3 o'clock in the morning and buy another set of batteries. So, we had 2 hotel rooms, 2 dudes in each room. We're all charging batteries all night long, for the next morning when we could find a hotel to sleep in,
Yeah. But, I was going to say that's the struggle with content creation from so now you're racing and content creation. That's too hard, man.
It's hard. It's a lot of work, right? It's a second job, right?
Yeah.
But that second job is a lot of fun. Right. It's we're enjoying it. You know what I mean? And the content is, let's see if we can capture some of the fun stuff that we do here. And I think, we're getting better with each video, which is all we're looking for. I'm learning more and editing, that kind of stuff, and learning what works. I think our last video probably captures a lot of our standard, like just the way we are when we're putting stuff together, and the wisecracks and the chopping everybody and just the good times we usually have putting this stuff together. I mean,
we're figuring it out as we go.
We're figuring it out. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's
Eric, car guys trying to become YouTubers.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 100 videos to get comfortable, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree, because I thought me running the camera was going to be a bad idea, and honestly, I mean, not trying to toot anybody's own horn, I think that last video was probably one of our better ones. It flowed well, and it was all 3 of us working together and cracking on each other, and it felt better than some of the other ones. So I think that's definitely the format that we want to continue with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so drag week, my dad's getting older, and it was another. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of fun.
Dad went with us on drag week. Yeah. And kind of after we got back in 2019 was like my dad had a 61 Ford truck that he gave to me. He used it for chopping wood and all that kind of stuff. It was 4-wheel drive. And him and I, bonded over working on that truck, and it ended up rusting away and taken to a junkyard. And Dad had such a good time, and I'm looking at me and I'm looking at him, and he's 70 at the time. He was like 74. I'm like, he needs to do one of these. So we all put our heads together and we put together this truck for him, so this truck is essentially Dad's truck, and so Sick Week was the first time we could go with both cars, and we went, had a great time. We had a little bit of overheating, and it really didn't overheat, just got warm. We had to just watch that. We had horrible gas mileage. Like from a small block, we went from 6.5 to 3 until I talked to the guy on running a Bug that had some mechanical ejection, and we leaned it back a little bit and got 5.5. So we figured that out halfway through the week. But this was the first time my dad ever raced a car.
For a little bit of clarification, he's talking about the Fairlane here, not necessarily the truck as far as the fuel mileage.
Sorry.
The truck is still on gasoline.
Yeah.
So just to clear that up.
Yeah. So, this is Dad had struggled a couple times finding the staging beams, and we went over some stuff, and but he had a great time, and he drives this thing all over the place. I mean, he'll go. We're in Ashland. He'll take it to Bucyrus, which is almost an hour away. He'll just hop on the freeway and off he goes. And
I freaking ran into him at Sam's Club one day.
He just drives it all over the place. When I don't break an axle in it or something.
Yeah,
but
he would definitely use it as his daily driver in decent weather.
Absolutely.
If we don't break it first.
Getting tickets on Park Avenue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So my dad's this is great. My dad's a retired police officer, and he's out on Park Avenue, which is like where all the guys with the cars cruise, right there in Mansfield. They call it the Miracle Mile, and it was a heyday back when I was a kid. When he was a kid, it's not so much anymore. But there are some older guys that show up there, and there's some guys that run some drag and drive events. So he stopped and hung out with those guys till 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and while, of course he left, he's got to give it a little bit of hell. Sure enough, he gets pulled over by a police officer. He's a retired cop, gets pulled over for exhibition of speed. He didn't get a ticket. He got out of it. He probably flashed his badge or something, but it's a pretty funny story. The next morning he told us that. I'm like, I'm going to get a t-shirt that says, with an arrow that says, "This is my teenage father." You know what I mean? It's because he really is really enjoying driving this truck all over the place, and it gets a lot of attention, and he loves talking about it. He'll talk to anybody about it. He'll take the time. If he's running to Lowe's just to get something for the house, he might be gone an hour and a half, and Lowe's is a quarter mile away,
Well, tell us about these feed holes. How did you do these? Because they're everywhere. I love it.
Yeah, so they're different ways. So my buddy Patrick has a hot rod shop, and he's got those Mittler dies. And so some of them, like that back bumper, is done with a plasma cutter because it's so thick. The tailgate was done. You pre-drill a 1/2-inch hole, and then I designed and made a arbor piece to use a hydraulic pump. And instead of the Mittlers, use a screw, and it just galls up the threads, and it's got a bearing on it. It's not very good. And literally it's like 3 pumps and it makes the little radius on the inside and pops the steel out. So there are 331 holes on the truck. I wish I could say I did on purpose. I mean, the first engine was a 331. And
he just asked us before we got live here. He goes, "How many holes do you think are in the truck?" And I pondered it for a moment. And I'm like, I don't know, probably, 160. And he's like, "No, there's 331. And I'm like, "The same amount as the cubic inch of the original small block?"
I mean, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Exactly what it was, 331 cubic inch.
I need 16 more holes if we're going to do that, right? Yeah.
Right.
But it's got definitely a lot more holes than the Fairlane. I mean, originally the Fairlane only had the rear bumper with the holes in it, and then we put the front bumper on it for Sick Week just because I think it completed the look of it or whatever. But
absolutely,
yeah.
I love it, and I want to hear the story on this boat. Like, tell us how this came about.
I wish it was like something really, really cool, but it was like
it kind of is though.
I mean,
the fact
I guess
that it's not.
Yeah, right. So we're like, we need a trailer for the truck, don't we? Well, no, we'll throw everything in the back. I'm like, well, we don't want to drag everything in and out of the truck every time. Well, I live out in the country, and I was mowing, and back in the backyard, there's the neighbor has 2 aluminum boats on trailers. Well, he didn't want to sell them, but I come back, I'm like, guys, I said, I think we need to tow a boat behind the truck. I think that would be really cool. And everybody's like, sure, why not?
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds great.
You're lucky we couldn't find a mannequin in time to sit in the boat while we drove it down the road. You know what I mean? So it was like, I found one on Marketplace the next day, and Dad drove over and picked it up for like $300 for the whole thing. And Matt fixed the trailer and fixed all the wiring and the wheels. And we found some adapters and I dug up some wheels on, I think, again, Marketplace. I mean, Marketplace is cool,
awesome.
but yeah, I spent a lot of money on Marketplace. You know what I mean?
We used to buy Loctite for the adapters, though.
Yeah. So and then a friend of mine lent us that motor, and that motor is like the same brand as the boat somehow. So it all worked out. I mean, what's the odds, together. Right?
Yeah,
it's the same brand as the boat, so it fit perfect.
Yeah, and I think the combo really made you guys stand out more than I think I've seen anybody out there. It was really, really cool to see those 2 cruising together. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
and on that, I mean, it was. I mean, Garrett Olson was like came over. What's that?
Is the truck a stick shift? You guys may have answered that already.
No, it's an automatic. It's an AOD2.
Oh, okay.
We're glutton for punishment. We like to put AODs in both of our race cars because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Jack owns a transmission shop, so
and I'm totally freaking against it. 400 turbos all the way.
I knew I liked Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're probably headed that way. But it was surprising. I mean, we did a full drag and drive event with 910 horse blowing through the converter in second gear, and we thought something was wrong with the transmission. Jack took it apart. He's like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. He said, well, I'd throw some new clutches in it since you have it apart. But so big shout out to Silver Fox, man.
Yeah.
For putting together something that'll hold.
And that's wild. I would leave it in. I mean, that's overdrive trans and drag and drive are made for each other.
Yeah, I mean, it does help with the injection. So because it locks up in third and fourth, I can keep the RPMs between 1,600 and 2,100, and I can control the pressure on the mechanical injection with my cutoff, and that kind of leans things out a little bit and smooths it out. And we go from 3 miles a gallon to 5.5, which is huge if you're trying to find E85 gas stations. And every person that you make a phone call to, they're like, we got 87. That's not what we're asking for. E85. It's a bit of a battle, but we do carry some now in the trailer. We've got a fuel tank on the trailer, so we do carry some there. But it's definitely a learning experience.
And now that we're not on the road, it's kind of funny to think about how many gas stations we called to ask if they had E85, and the gas station employees had no idea what E85 even is. So,
ouch, that sucks.
It's always fun trying to find that stuff.
Yeah.
So, how much attention does the truck?
So there's a lot
get.
The truck gets tons of attention, way mine, and I love the injection and stuff, but it's just a yellow 65 Fairlane, right? But the truck, it just looks right with the gold metal flake, the real magnesium wheels, the quick change, the patina on it is amazing, right?
It's just got the
right look, man, and people love it. They love it. Everybody loves a pickup truck. Right.
Yeah.
And so it gets way more attention than the Fairlane. They're like, hey, I'm over here. I got a Fairlane over here. It's got mechanical injection.
This shit.
But yeah, everybody loves a truck, and everybody loves a nice patina. It's the right colors, right? I mean, it's a pretty color. What's left of it? I mean, even the seats. Like a guy saw I was putting that together because I put some stuff on Facebook, and he messaged me and said, "Hey, I got a set of 58. There you go, 58 T-Bird seats. I'll give you." So went down there. They've been in his shed for like 25 years. We put new covers and foam on it. And so it's got to go through the truck too. It's like everything is, I tried to do kind of period correct stuff too. It's, 58 T-Bird seats. It's the console's out of a 61 Falcon. What else? I mean, everything, minus again, the aluminum heads, right? Didn't have the aluminum heads back in the day.
Right.
But I mean,
the straight axle, the ladder bars, the cheater slicks, the quick change, all of that.
Yeah, magnesium wheels.
Period correct.
Right.
The moon tank on the front.
Yep. Real moon tank on the front, that kind of stuff. Wow. Just trying to make it
tilt front end, all of that kind of stuff was just try to be period correct.
Yeah.
What are some of the hard to find pieces that you had on there?
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, you knocked it out of the park.
So the hard to find stuff is, I mean, quick change stuff, you can find them all day. I mean, they're made for horsepower. Yeah, they're made for horsepower and dirt and light cars, but for what we do, man, it sure is nice to be able to change a set of gears. I mean,
it saved us.
Yeah, it saved us. We thought overdrive went out in the truck, and hear a wire come out on the cutoff. There's an electrical cutoff for the overdrive, and so we drove it the rest of that was the first day of drive.
Yeah, but we were literally just cruising down the road at 65 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it just slipped, and it acted 100% like it dropped overdrive. And we pulled off the side of the road and started checking some stuff and fired it back up, and it had no overdrive. And then, but having the quick change rear end, we were able to just drive it an hour to the track, at a little higher RPM. And then when we were done at the track for the day, we just put a highway gear in it and cruised on down the road again at 70 mile an hour at 2,000 RPM. So having the quick change was very, very beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. Believe it or not, some of the hardest things to find are the switches, like to get the right switches. Like this, you don't just go to Summer Racing and find these switches. You scour eBay while you're sitting on the toilet every day. You know what I mean? Looking for this whole World War II stuff. And I've got a bucket of them kind of now. But I mean, like even like the circuit breakers, they're out of an old airplane. It's all old aircraft stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
In fact, when you look in the interior of the Fairlane, because we have, fuel pressure coming out of the tank, it goes up to a Holley float bowl in the moon tank on the Fairlane, because you have to pull off that big tank, the actually active moon tank on the front of the Fairlane. And then
good opportunity to watch the video on the Bucketlist YouTube channel about the whole moon tank.
Yep. There's a thing on the whole thing.
Sorry,
on the moon
had to take the moment for the plug. My bad.
And it's got that pressure. It's got the line pressure on the output of the gauge. I've got the pressure gauge for the AOD to make sure if we slip a cable, we're not driving down the road with zero psi. And
because that's very important for all you other drag and drive guys that want to run AODs, which I'm sure there's none of you. Line pressure is very important.
And so when you look in the Fairlane with those old aircraft, it looks like a cockpit of an airplane almost, so it's getting the look was really important to me. I bought one of those old label makers because I didn't want something fancy on it. I wanted the that squeezes the little letters out and you roll the what's it called, a Rotex or something like that.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't even know what the technical name is, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So just to make it look right, and
it's fitting.
Yeah,
it does the trick.
Well, who does your lettering there?
I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to say something about that a few minutes ago. On the truck, the patina is so perfect. We had to get the right guy to do the lettering, and so this is my opportunity to give a shout out to Matt Smith at 840 Designs. And this guy's done a lot of lettering on a lot of cars for a lot of our buddies in the Hot Rod Car Club, and he's fantastic. He really knows how to knock it out of the park when it comes to making this stuff match and look correct. So he did all the lettering on the truck, and he's done some lettering on the car as well. And I'm sure there'll be more for him to do in the future.
Yeah.
So
we'd like to do more on the Fairlane a little bit. We church it up a little bit.
Yeah, he goes by Chewy. So big shout out to Chewy.
Yeah,
thank you
awesome.
for everything.
He did a great job. I mean, like the stuff is great. The period correct stuff I love. I wish I had grabbed more pictures at Sick Week of the cars. Like the ones I'm running through here are photos that Eric edited that I took in a parking lot. Like you guys pulled in the parking lot, same hotel and something.
Yeah.
Again, that
yeah.
The two cars, the truck and the car, are some of my favorite ones that were out there. But you sent me some other stuff. Walk us through. Sorry, I'm getting to it here. What are some of the next things here that we're looking at? What is this? Why is there a NASCAR?
Oh boy.
Yep. So another one of the trips when I got out of the hospital was after SEMA. It was like Jack's like, or I don't know who even instigated. It was like, anybody want to go to Bonneville? Yeah, why not? Let's go to watch Bonneville. So I went and watched Bonneville. Went to Bonneville, and I'd be lying if I didn't. We sat in the entrance to Bonneville Salt Flats. We got there at dark. The sun's coming up over the Salt Flats. They're just starting to let people in. I'd be lying if I didn't get a little misty. You know what I mean? The start of hot rodding, right? And so me and Jack went and talked to a ton of people, and they kind of got the same mentality, man. They'll help anybody. They'll talk to you. You can go up and talk to George Petit at the Speed Demon. His pit is wide open. You can go up there and lean on his car. I wouldn't lean on his car, but you could lean on his car and talk to him. You know what I mean? Wow. And so we're like, I got back. I'm like, all right, dudes, we gotta build a Salt Flats car.
We gotta find something.
Yeah. And originally I was like, I'm a diehard Ford guy, and originally I was like, let's find a chassis and we'll put a Trino body on it or something. But then I found this great deal and was like, okay, let's this. And it turned out I did some research. This was Jeff Bodine's car in 2006 or 2007, Talladega and Daytona.
So it's already been well over 200 mile an hour.
Yep. And we're just like, let's not even muck up the body on it, right? It's so talking to Aaron Brown from the garage shop down in North Carolina. He's got an
awesome guy.
Yeah, awesome dude, man. Talk about a down to earth guy,
Just share all the knowledge in the world with you. Help you out in any way, shape, or form.
So this one's in the coffers to get like probably a C3 or a D3 Ford NASCAR engine, and we're going to take this to Bonneville. We're going to tow it with our old 73 Winnebago. You know what I mean? Tow it out there, and we're just going to go, and we're going to. Each one of us is going to make some passes in it, get our licenses, goof off. Bench race at night, drink a couple beverages, and just have a good time. Just have a good time. So that's one of the ones that's in the coffers. We're going again to Bonneville. Bigger group of us is going this year for Speed Week. So we've got all that booked, and we're ready to go to that, and we get some more information. And in fact, I even had a set down with what was his name that runs the ECTA.
Keith Turk.
We talked to him. No, ECTA. Keith sold it.
Oh, that's right. That's
right.
Yeah. Well, we talked to him because I was trying to get an event up here in Mansfield. We have an old guard base that has a big, long runway, but we couldn't convince him to let them have a car event there. They were worried they would lose some of their money from the government if they did an automotive style event. But, so that's one that's in the coffers. We just want to go out and have fun. I don't know that we're going to go after any records or anything. But just go out on the salt and just you did it, right? You're not on your deathbed going, man, I wish I'd have went to the Salt Flats and raced. And
then now we have a NASCAR, so we can go do some land speed stuff with it, and then we can switch it up and maybe go do some road course racing. We have a world-renowned road course track here in Lexington, Ohio, called Mid-Ohio Racetrack.
8 miles away.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes away from us, and it'd be super cool to convert that thing and go road racing with it. Just fun. Not to be competitive in any way, shape, or form, but just to go have fun.
Yeah, none of us are rich. We pool our resources together. So So that's the only way we can do it. It's and I mean, if he was doing it by himself or you're doing, I mean, it could take 20 years to build a land speed car or something, But when we pull all our resources together, then it makes it happen a lot faster because numbers are getting younger. Yeah, we do it just on Saturday.
Yeah. Like the Captain Planet of building race cars with our powers combined.
That's right. Well, that's why race car friends are so important.
That's right. It is.
That's
Race
exactly
car
why
friends.
race
That's
car friends
exactly
are so
what it is.
important.
Yep. Well, what's this?
Yeah.
Because this looks like just a
Oh,
bucket
it's
of fun.
That's going to be the fastest.
Yeah, that's
hopefully.
Yeah, that's one that that was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I had it's sitting right in the picture. I gotta go get that thing.
It's so cool looking. I mean, how can you not buy that?
States over and picked it up, and it's going to turn out to be something pretty cool. I'm looking at the rules right now to see where it fits in the rules and what we can do with it. But I think our plan is, and this is, people pipe up. I'm bouncing back and forth. I got some small block parts.
Yeah, drop some comments. Throw some suggestions out there.
Not an LS.
Yeah, not an LS. No, I'm not doing that.
But I mean, it's
sorry, Eric. Sorry, Eric. I mean, not that they're not great. I mean, I get it. They're awesome, but
we're thinking originally it was going to be just a small block Ford, like a 331 with like a single turbo and trying to get 1,000 horsepower out of it. And then we're like, well, all the sensors you got to get with your E85 or with all your EFI and stuff. This will be an EFI car. It'll be our first. Should we just go to a Coyote? I think he's on the Coyote camp. And look at him. I got to balance things. I'm an engineer, so I got to stick stuff in a spreadsheet and go, okay, how's this balance out? And it might end up being a Coyote. I don't know, but it's really light. I mean, we have, the way it sits right now, it's all steel. It's all glass, real glass. It had 2 dashes laying in it, had a bunch of extra parts laying in it, had 2 hoods on it, and it weighed, and a small 351 Windsor in it, no crank, and no transmission, but iron heads, and it weighed 1710. So it weighed 1,700 pounds. So it is going to be light. So
that's super cool looking.
Fully loaded. Yeah, I mean, fully loaded 21. With a driver, you're talking 21, 2,200, somewhere in that neighborhood, probably.
A little more when I'm driving it. But
well, yeah,
I'm going to turn that boost down when you guys are driving it. I can't have you go faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're
suspension in this thing.
It's Pinto front suspension, but it's aftermarket A-arms and stuff.
So a Coyote would fit.
So I got to look and see what the rules are. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm on the camp of like a Coyote can safely make, I don't know, 1,500 pounds power to weight ratio. We need to make 1,100 or 1,200. Why not do something that's 300-400 under what it can handle, and hopefully you don't stress things and it's reliable. That's the camp that I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car can go, 8s easily with that kind of power, I mean, I don't see what kind of cage is in it, but yeah, I mean,
that's our goal. We want a cage that's sorted to 750, and we want to hopefully hit a 780, 790 somewhere in that neighborhood, and that'll be faster than we've ever went before. And that'll be awesome.
And as fast as you'd ever want to go a 94-inch wheelbase.
That's right.
Right. Then there's that. Then there's that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna put like 7 parachutes on it. Put 7 parachutes on it so that it straightens you up when you're all crooked trying to go through the trap sideways.
Do a GTR motor.
Hey, something different, man, would be cool.
And it would be easier to package because it's a V6, so it's shorter. I mean, definitely doesn't have the width of a Coyote. But
now we're talking 2JZ territory type stuff.
Inline.
I know.
Yeah,
we could do like the dirt fish, like Finnegan did. I mean, the 2JZ and the
that's a must. Maybe an Eco Boost. I wonder what you can get out of a 3.5 Eco Boost.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Now we're thinking outside of the box.
There you go. Good comment.
Yeah. Now you're making it hard for yourselves. That's the problem. When you're bench racing,
not yet.
Why not?
We're still just bench racing on this one.
Yeah, you could also do that new 2.3. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. I know they're getting 800 or 900 horsepower out of those things pretty reliably. Yeah, you could do that. 2, 3. I mean, 900 horsepower. It's to stay lighter. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to take a few more ounces to make.
That's going to be a hard. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a hard sell for me to go from anything from a small block.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It just needs to have 8 cylinders under the hood, in my opinion.
Well, and again, you go back to the small block Ford with a single turbo, like an 80 millimeter turbo, make 600 or 700, and just have a blast.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not going after any records. We're not going after any big boys or anything. It's just what haven't we done yet, right? That's the other one.
Exactly.
So then I had to go to San Diego for work a few weeks ago, and started looking at Marketplace when I was out there. Man, there's a lot of like trophy truck stuff over there. So I started looking, and we got a buddy that helps another guy that races Baja. It's like, so I talked to him. Like,
on that note, if anybody has a good therapist, this guy has a problem and could use some help. So
that's not a problem. But we're like, okay. We talked to him, and he's like, dude, there's like a 250 race. It's mostly like sand dunes. He said, getting class 16. It's like a VW Bug, with a 1600 cc limited suspension stuff. He said it's the sand stuff is easier on you. He said you break your back in one of those, especially a big dude like one of these guys in here stuffed in the VW Beetle with me. We'd have to be closer than we are. You know what I mean? That's friendlier than we are. We'd have to prepare by like snuggling at night or something. Probably.
I'm down. No. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So we're looking at all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there that we all want to experience. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there when you start looking at all different. Look, he's talking about Pikes Peak. We've talked about all kinds of different stuff, road racing stuff, just to goof around and have fun. They have down at Mid-Ohio, they have like, you can take classes, bring your vehicle down there and take classes. And they'll run around the track with you, show you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And on that note, we found out that they have a legit class that you can enter vintage NASCAR stuff in. So like we can go down there and enter into like a Trans Am style race or whatever and go just play around and have a good time. I think that'd be awesome. That sounds like all kinds of fun.
Yeah. I see Sean Stanford popping in here saying he had some customers show up. Dude, that's what happens when you own a shop as busy as Solid Tech Performance. So no worries, man. We'll have you on in the next couple of weeks. We appreciate him letting us know what was going on, so that's no problem. I want to talk more about the bucket list mob and how important it is for folks to make that list and get that stuff going and start doing these things. Because again, listen, I lost my dad in 2020.
Yep.
That changed my entire life because he was 60-something years old, 62. I was like, I got to start doing this. I got to start living, because life truly is short. So
yep.
I want folks in the chat to tell us what are some of their bucket list adventures that they are going to do one day, and then hopefully it's going to spark them to, now that it's out in the world, now they're going to try and start living that. So I want to say thank you for putting that together. The bucket list mob is a heck of an idea.
Yeah.
And it came about kind of naturally, right? And it did real natural. So it wasn't anything forced. It was, I group chatted the boys, and then I think I changed the name later on because it just said Mike, Patrick, Dad, Matt, So I'm like, let's call it something else. I'm like, let's call it the bucket list mob. We're the bucket list mob, dudes. We're checking stuff off our bucket list, right?
Yep.
And so it's been that way for a few years.
Yeah, like I said, the original like Facebook Messenger group chat was probably in existence for a couple of years before it eventually turned into a garage night where we just kind of sat down and I'm like, listen, man, we need to do a YouTube channel. Like, there's no reason why we should not be filming this stuff and putting out videos. Like, if it goes nowhere, oh well. And if it goes somewhere, great. So I guess with that being said, we're trying to do better. We've made a schedule to try to put out a video every single week now. So we're dropping videos every Sunday. We're getting better with every one that we make, and it's getting funner. and I hope that it turns into something. It's turned into something already. We've got over 500 subscribers now, so hopefully this will boost them numbers a little bit and allow us to just do more bucket list mob stuff.
Well,
So
one of the great things
that's the
too
goal,
is
I guess.
it makes you go create that content. Like it gives all of y'all a reason to get together, right?
And it also forces us to get stuff done.
Yeah.
There's been a few times where it's a work night. Come on, guys. Crack a couple beers, and then pretty soon it's just sitting around talking about race cars. You know,
it happens. It happens.
The YouTube thing kind of does say, "Get off your butt, dude. Let's get something done." And then so I mean, we're planning
that
on
fire.
We're planning on filling up some B gas class stuff. Matt's building a '64 Comet, so he's building a gasser there, making lots of headway. The goal is, and I think Mike is and Eric is, Drag Week sells out, and it sold out in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
But they never have a full class of cars. So, I mean, we're rolling down. So it goes from, us going down there with one car in 2019 to now we're going to roll down there with 3 out of our stable. And we got another guy that's he's coming down with us, and he's just going to show up with a hot rod too. So we're like, just get the word out, show everybody, explain to everybody how freaking fun it is. The parking lots at the hotel after you drive all day, and hanging out with your other like-minded people that just eat, sleep, and breathe cars, and if we can do anything to make somebody laugh, and if we can do anything to make somebody have an aha moment before they hit 50, like me or whatever, to say, man, I need to stop and smell the roses sometime, I mean, 60 hours a week just is, it's great for a paycheck, but what are you doing? You're exhausted by the time you
work to live. You don't need to live to work.
So I work for a guy that he's like, you can take as much vacation as you want. He said, I'll pay you for this amount, but if you got other stuff you want to do, he lost it. Same thing. He lost his dad and saw his dad build this business and just like rot away, and so he's like, you got to live your life. I mean, I'm looking at like my algorithm for Facebook Marketplace is all jacked up because it's looking at airplanes, it's looking at cars, it's looking at boats, it's looking at motorcycles. I mean, it doesn't know where the heck to go, right?
It's slightly bipolar.
Yeah,
slightly.
Yeah. 12-year-old Mike is like,
it's ADD like me.
Yes.
Yep. ADD for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this happens in the chat. It's how many times all of us are like, send something in the chat that we've found on Marketplace. A few times we've gone and got them.
Yeah.
And there's a couple in there that I was like,
the Comet.
Yeah, the Comet we went and got off of Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
The NASCAR came off of Marketplace. There's a boat that me and Matt were looking at. Was like, hey, should we go get this jet boat? This jet boat sounds like a great idea.
We don't need it, but it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, think how cool the jet boat would look behind the truck. Everything is how cool would that look?
Oh no, the jet boat would look cool behind the wagon. So I've got a wagon I've had for almost 2 decades, a '63 Squire on air ride and stuff.
There's a video on there on that one as well.
Yeah, and it needs some love. And we were talking about maybe doing a Godzilla in it, but I think it's going to get a Coyote just for drivability. Because I sure would love to daily drive that thing, but with a loose ring, oil smoking 390 and a FMX transmission, it's not great around town.
And the brakes that don't like to work until they're used a little bit, and until they're warmed up and air
pulls
ride
to one side real hard.
Could use a little bit of love and all that good stuff.
The whole thing could use some love.
Yeah, could all use a little bit of attention.
Yeah,
so everything on our list.
Everything on our list could use a little bit of attention.
Right now, psychologists are looking at us and going, "Those guys could all use a little bit of attention."
Right, exactly.
But yeah, it's Jack's got he's got one coming up.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your story there.
Yeah. So next up is
64 Coupe de Ville.
Yeah, Jack's got a '64 Coupe de Ville that's got air ride on it, and
we're gonna put a 496 blown big block in it.
Yep. So he's already got the engine
with
back.
The 400 turbo.
The right transmission. We're going to put the correct transmission in the car initially from the get-go.
Sure
it was going to be a Lego, but it's not very stable.
700 R4.
No, we're not going to put a 700 R4 in it.
But yeah, he's got it. I think we have a short of that one. It's up and coming. He's got to get the transmission. He owns a transmission shop. He can't get the transmission built.
Yeah,
it's working on everybody else's stuff.
The missing link is the transmission from the transmission shop owner.
Yeah. So the goal is just
to
make that just a burnout monster. So blown big block Chevy with a
fucking driving cartoon.
Yeah, running and driving cartoon.
That's awesome. Well, what's your next trip? Where are you guys going next?
Yep.
Next trip
is
Bonneville, right?
Bonneville.
Next month.
Well, this weekend we're toying whether we go to the Rockin' Race up at Dragon 42. It's a gasser race, old school stuff. Or Good Guys is actually down in Columbus again, so they're in the same weekend. So we're thinking maybe go up to the gasser race on Friday, and then Good Guys maybe on Saturday or something. And then
not 100%.
Yeah, not 100% sure. And then the next big one is our trip that's out for Speed Week out in Bonneville, and then Drag Week,
which we're not taking anything to Speed Week in Bonneville. This is just going to be a
scouting mission.
Research and development.
I like that. An R&D trip. It's going to be an R&D trip.
Yeah,
good terminology.
I mean, the first time we went, learned a ton. I mean, if you've ever been or talked to the land speed guys, their cars are not light.
No,
they're adding tons and tons of weight to it. They want downforce in weight, not in air.
Yeah, because you don't want to take flight.
Yeah,
at 400 miles an hour.
I mean, there was that like mid 80s, the mid 80s Firebird. We talked to a guy. We come up on there. It's like
7,700 pounds.
Yeah, come up on him. It's got like electric power windows, a full interior and stuff. We're like, I mean, this is pretty heavy, isn't it? And he's like, you want weight. And then you should open up the hatch, and there's just weights everywhere.
Just
like
lead.
He's like 7,700 pounds. Like, Jesus. So, we learned a bunch. Yeah, we learned a bunch out there. Had a great time. And then, I don't know, probably in the fall, we'll do PRI or go to SEMA maybe. Probably PRI again.
Probably PRI.
Yeah, we had a great time. And then probably hit Sick Week again if we can get in.
So 2 of the guys here have already been to Bonneville, and 2 of the guys here have not yet been to Bonneville. So This year, all of us will be there.
Yeah.
Well,
Jack, not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 of us will be there. The 2 guys that haven't made it yet will be there.
And Patrick and Dad, so there'll be 5 of us there for Bonneville.
Yeah, so it ought to be a good time.
That's gonna be a blast. Yeah, that's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, you kind of run out of weekends in Ohio. It's August. It's August the 3rd through the 11th or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna fly out on Wednesday and watch for a couple days. A couple days is good, right? You don't be there all week if you don't have a camper or something.
Right.
So we'll do that. Yeah, it seems like this summer's like going by. Like you said earlier in the show, it's July already. How'd that happen?
Yeah.
I always feel like July's on the downhill slope. Up here in Ohio, it's like it starts. That's when it starts to cool off, start cooling off, and you start to go, oh, we're running out of nice weather. So
yeah,
that's our plans. Just keep pumping out videos every week. Yeah,
there you go.
That's the plan.
Yeah, so let's get one or two more stories in. What are some of your favorite stories from Sick Week?
Sick Week? My favorite is when Garrett Olson came up and said, hey, he said, would you be cool with us using your truck for the I Survived t-shirts? I'm like going to say, yeah, you better not. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to need some copyright money.
Yeah. I'm like, heck yeah. So that's another Cinderella thing, right? It's the truck with the trailer is on the I Survived t-shirt for Sick Week. Like,
that's probably the coolest
big guys are wearing my dad's car or truck on their shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
The guys that bought the shirt from Sick Week have my dad's truck on it, and so again,
That's awesome.
Immortalized. It's not famous or anything. It's just you're immortalized in time. It's like I can my daughters can show their kids, hey, your great grandpa, did this when he was 77. You can do anything.
Yeah.
With the community that we're talking to right now, the guys that are watching this, that means something. So
yeah,
that's what's cool. Like, who wouldn't want their ride on the I Survived t-shirt? That was 100% unexpected and probably one of the coolest things that we've ever got to experience. And
bit of an honor.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just
for sure.
the attention that truck and that boat got was just, it was overwhelming all week long. And it was just a cool experience for sure. I mean, it kept a smile on our faces, even through the trials and tribulations that we had throughout the week. And it still was a really, really cool experience.
Yeah. That's
happy
awesome.
for anybody to come up and hang out and crack one with us or whatever. We're happy to have anybody swing by,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
That would be mine for a Sick Week.
Yeah. I agree. And that's one of the coolest things.
Another one.
Oh, go ahead.
Now, another one of the Sick Week things on day one, when we got to line the truck and the fair lane up, Mike and I got to line up at Florida or in Florida on day one, or
I've been day zero.
It was Tech Day, right? Tech Day testing.
We were
the last two in the staging lanes. We got to put the car and the truck on the line together and run. I was driving the truck and he was driving the car, and he had way too much gear in the car. So we left, and I thought he just like blew the tire off. And then we were neck and neck, and we literally ran like side by side all the way down the track. And it was just because he literally ran out of gear. So like that, I got him out of the hole, then he caught me and passed me, and then I caught back up with him, and then we crossed the finish line at the same time. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's pretty neat. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We really appreciate you guys doing that.
Anytime,
thank you for the opportunity,
Eric,
man.
We appreciate everything you guys do for the Drag and Drive folks out there, the whole community. We appreciate that.
And we'll see you at Drag Week too.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. More shenanigans to come.
Oh,
absolutely.
Parking lot beers and trailer burnouts, baby.
Yes,
garage beers, baby. Garage beers. If we're taking sponsors, by the way. We're taking sponsorships. So
I like it. All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Thanks, you guys so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Have a great night.
Bye. Dude, what a fun bunch of guys. Listen, and again, if you're not following, you need to go follow the Bucket List Mob. Awesome group of guys, awesome videos. Again, we talked about 40 something videos loaded to their page. I mean, you can't get cooler than that. And just again, story, I say it all the time. You got to get out and you got to do stuff. You got to just, Eric says it too, you got to drive your car. You got to get out. You got to spend time in your car. You got to wrench on that thing. And I know I say it all the time, and I don't live it, dude. I've got 2 cars I'm staring at right here in the shop that I haven't worked on in a while, but it's coming, I promise. So, y'all, I've had a blast tonight, dude. It's been fun.
Yeah, they seem like a bunch of cool guys, and I look forward to hanging out with them at Drag Week. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we've got, hopefully we can announce a big deal for Drag Week for us next week. I hope we can get that lined out and be able to make that a public thing, because if it comes together, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. It's going to be great for our race car friends and provide a lot of opportunity for people to tell stories and stuff. So, all right. One more time through the race car friends and stuff, if you want to do that, and then we'll send these folks on to finish their night out.
Yeah, absolutely. We say it all the time. It's you guys that keeps us going. So thank you for being our race car friends. Invite all your race car friends to the Drag, Drive, Repeat Race Car Friends group while you're at it. And then we can't do it without our sponsors, Summit Racing, Driven Racing Oil, Molly Motorsports, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performa-Built Transmission, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Racing Junk, and Power Tube TV.
Yep, that's for sure. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.
Yep, see you guys.